Hello, Orange Cat here. We're playing demo game Dead Red Double Blind. Alright, this is it. I have to make it work. Mr. Morgan? An older gentleman sits behind the desk, so engrossed in the documents that he didn't even look up when I came in. Mr. Jones, I have been expecting. He stopped halfway through his sentence when he looked up from the desk. Oh, sorry, I wasn't expecting other visitors. Moses, Morgan is the owner of Morgan's Traveling Circus. It seems like you have met me at a disadvantage, miss. Jacqueline, but you can just call me Jackie. Alright, Miss Jackie, is there anything I can do for you? Sometimes conversations feel like a battle and you need to all the weapons in your arsenal. A good conversationalist can wield every piece of weapon in their collection to do various things such as ask questions, give answers, present evidence, and spread gossip. This is your collection. Everything you need for the conversation can be found here separated in 3 categories: information, item, and people. When a collection screen comes up, select the tab on the top to shift through the categories from select and select. Okay. Later you will be able to inquire everyone about everything in collection, but for now focus on answering the party's questions and keeping the conversation going. The letter from Hetty. Something's going on in the circus. I need you to watch out. If something happens to me and Turuji, please go take my place. I can't say more right now, but please, the show has to go on. The amazing Hetty. A silver handgun, a small pistol with a custom-made silver-plated handle. It's small enough to be strapped to someone's thigh and being hidden underneath a long coat or dress. The circus. Situation in the circus. Since the disappearance of the circus star, the amazing Hetty, Morgan's Traveling Circus has been put under the spotlight as newspapers are spreading on the disappearance and customers are demanding tickets for refunds. About Jackie. I, Jackie, am a magician. A new one, freshly out of apprenticeship and back from where I studied magic in Europe. The mind reading act. My signature trick is a telepathy act. Is it real or fake? People often ask. Well, if I can give you the right answer, does it matter if it comes from a mystical power or just some good old human trickery? Huh. I'm just saying, if you are interested, I can perform a mind reading act. How about I will save you the trouble and tell you what's on my mind right now? I'm thinking, stop wasting my time. Oh. Perhaps I should start from the beginning. No. Uh, Oh, I didn't select the item. That's why he kept saying the same thing. I'm here to audition, of course. You're here to audition? Mm-hmm. I'm a magician and... You didn't let me finish the sentence. You said your name was Jackie. Never heard of a magician with that name. And you know every magician in the country? More or less. If someone like you appeared, I've heard by now. You don't get a lot of female magicians, and the mask on your face is practically asking for gossip. Small circle, huh? I get it. The Europeans are the same way. So, you're European, but your accent? Well, I was born and raised in the States, but I left with my master to France to study magic with him. That was, what, 5-6 years ago? Oh god, I was just a stupid girl who wanted to learn magic. Now I'm a stupid girl, but at least I know how to do magic. Anyway, where was I? We toured Europe for a few years, but then the war happened. My family was worried about me, insisted on calling me back. So here I am. I promise you I am au fait with everything magic. I'm a professional. Right, I'm sure that's true, but here's the thing. Miss Jackie, I hate to break it, but there is no magician job. We are not hiring. Are you sure? Because... Our circus is in a tough place. He narrowed his eyes for a second but seemed to decide against speaking. Instead he leaned back into his chair and crossed his arm waiting for me to speak. I must be careful here. Your star performance has been missing for a week. People are talking in the papers, are speculating, and your customers are protesting. We sold your tickets on the promise of seeing a show from the amazing Hetty, the greatest female magician of the decade. But no one got to see you perform her. It's the weekend, and the big show is coming up. If she still fails to show up... He cuts me off, his sharp gaze cutting into my pupil. Miss Jackie, what do you want? I already told you. I'm here to audition. We need a magician, quick. I am one. A wondrous coincidence, wouldn't you say? Yes, what a coincidence. You have to forgive me if I find it hard to believe that a replacement just shows up here and seems to know more about my business than I do. You won't even show your face. With the rates these papers are going, everyone from Paris to Tokyo knows your business by now. Pity. Don't see anyone running it for me. I've been doing this for a few decades. I've been in the business for half a century. Let people think they know better. At the end of the day, they're not the ones who have to worry about keeping all of my workers fed. Well, if you don't do something about your situation soon, your workers might be in a lot more trouble. No offense, Miss Jackie, but I'm going to need something more than talk to convince me. I have business to run and a reputation to uphold. How about you? How about this? You said you are here to audition. Do that. Show me an act of yours. Oh, that makes sense, of course. I do your usual stuff. Raps in the head, card tricks, escape acts, that sort of thing. But my specialty is in mind reading. Mind reading or mind reading act. If you're good enough, there won't be any difference. Try it. You want me to try it on you? You have my permission. Alright, here it goes. I'm trying, but your energy is resisting. Right. I think I'm going to need a strong connection. Can you give me your hands? He didn't say anything and just laid both of his arms atop the table. I grabbed his wrist. His eyes are calm, his pulse is steady. Now say, abracadabra. Seriously, we need to come up with something better than that. See, your energy resisting. I can't believe it, I'm going along with this. Fine, abracadabra. Alright, now I'm just going to ask you a very simple question. You don't have to give me the answer, because I'm going to hear it when you think it. Sounds good? Go ahead. Are you sure? I can't control my powers, so if there's anything you don't want me to know, well, actually now you will be thinking really hard about them. I've stared down the barrel of the rifle in the jaws of a tiger. I'm sure I can handle a little magic act. Alright, if you are sure, here it comes. Your magician, Hattie. How did she die? His hands in his palm jerked slightly. Seems like he caught it. His impulse to withdraw his hand. But it's too late. In his initial surprise, his eyes flickered to my chest, giving him away. Something through the heart? A bullet? The corner of his mouth twitched. No. A knife. A knife through the heart. Face turned serious. How? Through mind reading, of course. Don't give me that. Well, did I pass your test? Why are you here? And don't tell me you're just looking for a job. The reason I didn't choose to look for a replacement. The amazing Hattie left behind some big shoes, or should I say, big hats to fill. Do you have any idea what the audience will say to anyone who tries to replace her in this point in time? I know all of that, but what if I told you she wants me to be here? I received this letter a few days ago. I came as soon as I could. Jay, something's going on in the circus. I need you to watch out. If something happens to me in the Dolce, please go take my place. I can't say more right now, but please, the show has to go on. The amazing Hattie. He pored over the letter, browsed forward. A letter from Hattie? What is she talking about? Something going on in the circus? Well, what is going on in my circus? If there's anything, I surely know, wouldn't I? He swore under his breath. But this means she knew she was going to die. Or at least she knew she was in danger. As much as it's hard to believe, you are right. But how is it even possible? Why didn't she do anything? His lip trembled. I can see the doubt and the disbelief on his usual impassive face. I feel bad for him, but can I truly rule out that he's the culprit? I cleared my throat and asked as if to wake him up. He sat upright and his face returned to neutral. So, the show is coming up, and I think there is a reason Hattie called me to take her place. You have a great opportunity here. I'm afraid I don't quite understand. I'm sure you're a great magician, but at this point, I'm afraid no replacement can meet the audience expectations. Well, good thing I'm not here to replace her then. I'm here to become her. Huh? Let's talk about the plan. What plan? How many people know about the truth of Hattie's disappearance? For now, only people working in the circus, well, and also the police. Are you sure there's no one else they could have told other people? I can't be sure about the police, but my people should understand the gravity of the situation. Given the world hasn't managed to get out of yet, I think it's safe to say we kept the lid pretty well sealed so far. I guess that it will work. Would you please just get to the point? Well, let's say, hypothetically, what if Hattie was not dead after all? I could pinpoint the exact moment his face switches from confident to understanding. You're going to be Hattie? Well, let's say the reason for her disappearance is that her face got injured in a practice incident and now she has to wear a mask to cover up the scars. You had this all planned out from the beginning, don't you? Well, I am a musician. I'm not going to lie to have Hattie coming back, at least until we get the big show out of the way. Would certainly solve a lot of my problems right now. But I cannot, in good conscience, agree to this plan of yours. What? Sorry. What? Why? Come on, don't tell me you are sticking to some bullcrap about not lying to the audience or something. In case you haven't noticed, deception is kind of the nature of our trade. No. Well, that's not ideal, but I don't think it's breaking any non-existent code of ethics or anything. Then why in the world would you say no? Do you enjoy being grilled by the press and the customers every damn day? I don't know if this has occurred to you, Miss Jackie, but the killer is still out there. These crazy plans of yours will surely draw their attention, and therefore put you in mortal danger. You're worried about me? That's real sweet, but don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. You don't understand. I will not have another death happen under my watch. Trust me, nothing is going to happen. How can you be so sure? Think about it. Whoever killed her was definitely counting on her to get out of the way for something, so my appearance is going to put a wrench in their plan. If it were you, what will you do? I have no idea. You panicked, scrambled to come up with something new, right? That's when you make mistakes. A magician should never do a trick when you think someone's seen through to it. So, you want to, talk to everyone and see what the reaction is? How's that going to help? Mind reader here, remember? I'm not some detective with a magnifying glass concerned about footprints or crime scenes. I deal with matters of the heart. Whoever did this must have done so for a reason. Why? And what was their relationship with Hattie? Do they feel guilty or cocky or relieved? One may keep the evidence of the crime hidden, but their heart will always remember what their minds try to forget. If I ask them about Hattie, feelings will emerge, and I think some interesting things might come up. Are you absolutely sure about this? I am fully aware of the risk. Besides, who am I to throw away someone's dying wish? The show must go on, and when the person who walks in the shadow decides to come out, rest assured I have plenty of tricks up my sleeve to deal with them. Or should I say, at my dress? What are you? He quickly turned his hand around to avoid looking. No, look. I tapped on the metal, the gun in my leg holster. Oh. Yep. What do you say? Alright. But first sign of trouble, I'm pulling you out. Awesome. The plan is a go. Now, let's talk logistics. Alright, first things first. This thing we are doing, I have to explain it to the rest of the crew. They know about Hetty, so it would be crazy if they see you showing up out of nowhere. Of course, but you might want to leave out a few details. Yes. I just tell them it's my idea to get someone to play her, to tie us over until the shows are finished. The switcheroo. I'm going to take Hetty's place by impersonating her. This will placate circus customers angry over Hetty's disappearance and maybe, I think, draw out the person behind Hetty's death. And Moses will tell the performance that it was his idea to hire me. Second, I think you might pass as her from afar, but you are going to need everything on your side for everyone to believe it, especially with all the scrutiny you are going to be under. It will help if you are in something familiar. You need to change into her costume. I was going to ask you about that. You need to go find Alice, our mechanic. A mechanic? Yes, Alice is in charge of her stage props and costumes. She also helps with pretty much everything that has to do with the show arrangements. She's the only one besides the performers that knows what happened to Hetty. I'm sorry, but I can't really leave the office. I'm expecting someone important. I write your note and she'll understand when she sees it. And here's the map. This time of day, Ellie is definitely backstage. See at the little tent right behind the big tub. Just introduce yourself and she'll help you with the costume. I should tell you everything you need to know for your performance tonight. I can do that. Now, for the last thing, it is absolutely imperative that you don't go wandering around in public areas before you're formally introduced to the audience. Got it. Can't spoil the surprise, right? We are walking on a tightrope here. We can't let anyone spot you in an uncontrolled environment. Of course. Is that all? Yes. Get into costume and don't let the public spot you. And remember, the performers know about the rules. If you can manage these things, maybe you will manage to pull off this crazy plan of yours. You are a great magician in your own way. I'll take that as a compliment. It is. Alright, unless you have anything else to ask me, you need to be on your way. Ugh, my head hurts. Where am I? Alright, think. Someone clearly did this to me. I need to find them and do something. I need to figure out where I am. Now I got it. But first thing first, I'm going to need some pants. Really? Did he have to take my jacket and pants too? What was I wearing again? Shit. I can't remember. That can be good. Why can't I remember? Is it a concussion? Whatever. I was wearing. It probably isn't worth much. Whoever took them must be desperate. Robbery victim. I woke up in a corner behind the trains without my money or clothes. But with some fresh head trauma, I think I was knocked out by a robber looking to make some extra cash. Okay, alright. Don't worry about it. We deal with it later. At least this guy left me with the undershirt and shorts and some dignity. I got up from the ground, slowly cradling my poor head as I stood up. Something small fell to the ground. A bobby pin? Must have fallen out the pocket of when they took off my jacket. Now, freshly awakened, I stood awkwardly in my undergarments in a place I didn't know. I took a peek around the corner. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to be that many people around. I stepped out from the back of the train and looked around. Huh? I have a feeling I'm not in San Francisco anymore. What was I doing in a circus, of all places? I look around to see if there is any passenger by that can be much needed information. Unfortunately, the whole wide field is occupied by nothing but the early autumn chill air. I spotted something in the distance, a phone booth. A payphone booth next to the train station. Right, I can call Ruth. Hopefully she can tell me something about the case I was working on. I rubbed my arms for some heat and headed to the phone booth. Is it really that cold? Or is it just me feeling naked? I ducked into the phone booth and closed the door. There's a clock on the payphone. It's 10 in the morning. Time doesn't wait for everyone. In one time block you only have a limited chances to take actions before the time runs out. This means by action points AP you can see how many remains. Performance actions such as using collection to inquire on contract will cost AP. You think strategically about what you want to spend your HP on. The time block will end automatically when your HP runs out, so don't forget keep an eye on it. Alright, I should call Ruth and get a grip on the situation. Let's hope Ruth has some good news for me. At least tell me I have a hotel room nearby with some clothes or something. Shit, I'm an idiot. Of course I don't have a cent on me. Damn. No one around to help me either. Maybe I'll get lucky if somebody forget to collect their change. Okay, only one way left then. All I need is to ground the transmitter and the circuit will work just like if a coin has passed through it. I need something metal and small. We use the bobby pin. Dialing. What city, please? San Francisco, California, please. The number for Jones Investigation Services. JONIS on Market Street. Checking on the Jones Investigations. Connecting. Hello, Jones Investigation Services. How can I help you? Okay, we got the right. No, I'm fine, but they took all my stuff, my clothes, and I don't remember why I'm here. What day is it? It is Sunday the 21st. Then, I think I don't remember the past few days. I'm sorry, what happened, sir? But why are you calling this number? Do you need to pay us help? I'm afraid Detective Jones is busy with another case at the moment, so... Yeah, I know, because I am him. Detective Jones, I mean. What? Ruth, it's me. Seriously? Prove it. My birthday is June 6th, 1920. My favorite food is goat cheese with cranberries and my middle name is Julius because my mom likes alliterations way too much. Mr. J, it's really you. I didn't even recognize your voice over the phone. You, why didn't you just tell me to? What were you thinking? Sorry. I break the news to you in a funny way. Funny, said. You're insane. Anyway, what's the situation over there? You okay? Do you need to call someone to help? No, I'm fine. I mean, I need to find something to wear real fast. It's kind of getting cold out here. I think whoever hit me took the wallet too, unless I didn't have it with me. It seems unlikely. and my head kind of hurts. I think I might be in concussion, but can't be sure. I don't remember where I was staying, and if I need money to get there. I kind of made this call illegally too, since again I didn't have any money, but it's just 2 cents. I'm sure the payphone company can survive it. So yeah, but other than that, I'm great. Sounds like quite a day you have. So the last thing I remember was when I was in San Francisco. I wager I missed a few days. I'm gonna need some ketchup, if you don't mind. Mr. J, with the amount of time your brain gets tossed around in your skull, it's a wonder you still have a mind left, let alone be a detective. Well, that's why I'm the best person for the job. You just tell yourself that. So I assume I'm here for a job. I remember something about a call from the trilogy. That was like 4 or 5 days ago. Seriously? Whoever knocked you out must have gotten a good hit. Alright, I think I know the basics. I can give you the basic rundown of the case. Client. Our client is Moses Morgan, the owner of Morgan Magical Traveling Circus. Nothing much. Morgan is not the usual P.T. Barnum type. From what I gather, he's not really one for the spotlight. But he seems to have a good rep in the business. No one seems to have any big issues against him. Which could either be a good sign or a very bad sign. Well, I guess you're going to find out. The case. The circus magician, the amazing Hatting, is missing. Since when? Since Monday, so it's been almost a week. So, the magician has been missing for almost a week. Why didn't they call the police? From what I understand, they did. Well, you have to ask the client himself. Okay, I guess I need to talk to the client as soon as possible, or maybe I already did. What a thought. I can't... Well, see him dressed like this. Please tell me you know where I'm supposed to be staying at. Of course, it's not like you ever booked the room yourself. You're supposed to be staying at the motel nearby on Sherman Road. It is next to the circus. You should find it with no trouble. Alright, that's the plan for now. Hotel, put some clothes on and then talk to the circus boss. I'll get on with it. Thanks, Ruth. I'll see you when I get back to San Fran. I say hi to the thief for me. Don't let him steal too many sandwiches. Be careful. Wait until your mother hears about this, young man. I was hoping to avoid that. You should know better by that. That woman knows everything. At least hold off on tattling to her until I get the chance to do it myself, please. Sure, you're the boss. Wait, one more thing before you go. Be careful with doing your detective thing in the circus. Yep, we already covered that. My head will remain intact for the rest of this investigation, I promise. I don't mean be careful with yourself. That is a lost cause, that's the point. I mean, be careful with the circus people. Look, I have a cousin who was in the circus back in the day. The Carnies. It's almost like they have their own little secret society. They are insanely guarded to those that they see as outsiders. They cooperate if they have to, but they never actually tell you anything useful if they don't trust. If they don't at least respect you. So don't go all the way in doing your thing. What thing? I don't have a thing. You know, you are you, and that might make them anxious. What does that exactly mean? You know, you look like someone that might arrest them. But I'm not a cop. Just be more gently, okay? Try getting them to trust you. Easier said than done. I know. Never mind, I'm sure it will work out. It usually does feel, although I have no idea why. Now, anything else, boss? Nope. You better get going then. Lots of work to do. Sometimes I think she only pretends to call me boss. I mentally prepared myself and opened the payphone booth door again. I peeked my head to see if anyone's around. This time I spotted someone holding something awfully familiar. It looks a lot like my wallet, and a stranger, the robber, probably is now looking through it. I rubbed Approached quietly, formulating a plan in my hand. He must be something like 6'4", with wide shoulders and arms like the barrel of cannons. As I move closer behind him, I see it's like the sky has darkened with all the light he blocked out. No wonder he managed to knock me out. I'm not too egotistical to admit it. I probably know most definitely lose it if we were up against physically. And clearly, I don't have any handy weapon. There's no one around to help either. That leaves me with very few options. Hey. Whipped around in alert, almost tripping over himself. Despite his stature, he's obviously quite young, probably in his early 20s. Who? You didn't think I'd wake up that quickly, did you? Jokes on you, this ain't my father's radio. What? Shh, listen, you don't want to make a scene, do you? I don't? So how about this? I'll let you keep the cash, but I really need the rest of my wallet back. There are some personal things, they are worth nothing to you, but I'd like to keep them. What? I'm not going to... Did you say this is your wallet? Come on, you just took them from me, right? And... Where did you put my clothes? You already hid them? No, I didn't do anything like that. I think you have the wrong person. I just found the wallet on the ground. Look, over there, outside of the train car. I was just checking it inside to see if there is a name on something. That actually makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. He scratched his head and laughed it off, eyes now filled with concerns. Hey, don't worry about that. I'm sorry. What happened to you? I think someone knocked me out and took all my clothes and stuff. So when I woke up and saw you holding my wallet, well... In my defense, my head is still all fuzzy, probably of the concussion. You sure this is your wallet? You checked inside, right? It probably has a name card in it. Jones Investigative Services from San Francisco? He opened the wallet and pulled out the card. When mystery services call Jones Investigation Services. We really need a new slogan. And over there in the pocket there should be a photo of my cat. It says Steve on it. Why does it say Steve? That's his name. My friend found it funny because I'm a detective. He looked at the photo and smiled. Aw, little guy. His gaze lingered on the photo for a few seconds, but he still managed to put everything back into the wallet and hand it back to me. Well, sorry about that. Here you go. I looked inside. There's the name card, the photo, and surprisingly about $20 in cash with a few quarters lying around. It's not a small amount of money, probably a week worth of salaries for an average work. There's still $20 in there. Yeah, you said you were robbed? Something doesn't make sense here. Sometimes you might realize the information you have doesn't add up. Someone might be lying or you might be making the wrong assumptions. That's when another part of collection contradicts comes in. Choose two items from a collection that contradict each other to point out the logical inconsistency and get to the bottom of the question. One more note, you will still be presenting contradiction to people. Note who you're talking to. If they know nothing about what you're talking about, then the contradiction won't matter to them. Now, what two pieces of information or evidence doesn't add up? Huh. A robber looking for money definitely wouldn't have left more than $20 of cash in my wallet. Yes, I thought whoever did this must have been looking for money, but there's still cash in my wallet. That should be the first thing to take, right? Perhaps they didn't see the wallet fall to the ground, and that's why they took my clothes, because they didn't manage to find any money? You said you found it by the train? Yeah, it was just out there. I don't think someone would have missed it if they were looking for it. I'm surprised someone else didn't find it and took it already, actually. Luckily, not a lot of circus customers come around here. Okay, interesting. So it might not be about the money at all. I should correct my previous theory. If let's say this is not for the money, then for what? Maybe they're just trying to embarrass you, like a prank? Well, I'm certainly embarrassed. Can you think of anyone who might have it out for you? Funny, this is usually my line. Right, you're a detective. You can solve the case yourself, right? Maybe. My enemies? There are too many to count, really, but I don't think they let me off this easy. You call this easy? I'm still alive and not missing limbs or fingers, so yeah. It's almost like they are not talking to me personally. Maybe that's something important on me, some evidence, and they had to take it. I'm more and more curious about this case at the circus. And speaking of circus, there's one more thing I want to ask. You work here, right? Yes, how did you... Well, the gloves and the scars, at first I thought you'd just been in a lot of knife fights, because, you know, the robot thing, but once I realized that's not true. You also said not a lot of customers come around here, which implies you're not one of them. Once I got that, well, a circus worker with a lot of scars. I know a trainer is the obvious answer. That's so smart. Is that what the detectives do? Well, don't be too nice, considering I got things very wrong on the first try. Sorry for the whole assuming you're a criminal thing, by the way. I blame the concussion for that. Oh, by the way, my name is Rolf. A circus is called Morgan Traveling Circus. Of course he is. Looks like this won't be the last time I see of him. Nice to meet you, Rolf. And you seen my card, I'm a detective. People usually just call me Jones. Your boss is Moss Morgan, right? Yeah, have you heard of him? Well, you could say that. He's my client actually, I think. You hired a detective? Oh, are you here about the Hetty? Yeah, I believe so. Wait, what if whoever attacked you is... I won't make any assumptions yet. Alright. This is all such a mess. Well, if you're looking for the boss, he's always in the small square tent over there by the other end of the train car. But you should probably put on something first. Do you have anything to wear? I'll be fine. I think I have a motel room nearby with some of my luggage. And thanks to you, I have my wallet back, so I can get my clothes for myself if I need to. Alright. Let me know if you need anything. He hesitated and offered quietly. I need to go, but you can come talk to me later if you want. You can find me in the big top at 1 p.m. or fair area at 2 p.m. I have shows scheduled then. Alright, I promise. Thanks for the help. Really, I appreciate it. I bid Rolf goodbye and turned around. This is going to be a fun walk. What was the address Rolf gave me? Schumer Road? I made my way to the hotel, trying my best not to draw attention to my attire. Luckily, it was a quick walk, and I think everyone was too thrilled by the circus to pay much attention to a homeless-looking guy. The people at the hotel recognized me and told me my key was stolen, so they gave me a new key to my room. After they billed me for it, of course. With all the trouble and humiliation and the physical peril, this job better pays like Rockefeller himself hired me. I opened the door. My room seemed undisturbed. I quickly put on some clothes and started surveying the room. When you see the magnifier icon on the left, it means you can investigate mode. It will cost 1 action point to enter investigation mode, but once you start investigation, you can move your aim around and look at everything at the scene. All notable items will be highlighted when you hover on them. Select the item to get detailed descriptions. Sometimes, if it's particularly worth noting, it may be added as an item in your collection. When you're done, you can click the exit. Alright, I think I've got everything I need. It's time to meet the client. Alright, Moses asked me to go find Alice in the backstage. What did he say again? The small tent behind the big tub? Can we click on it? Bong bong. Backstage is actually just a small tent behind the big performance tent I slipped into from the backup pull to curtain. It's not exactly tidy, but it's not the mess I expected it to be. It's all a splash of loud colors competing for attention, from outlandish costumes to wildly patterned fabrics. Various fantastical stage props are piled around the small room, making it look like some sort of fairy tale storage facility. I cleared my throat. A tiny young woman slipped out from the back behind one of the big boards that were obscuring her. A string of soft clicking and clattering followed her movements, and tools rattled around in the pockets. She eyes me ups and down, obviously wondering if I'm supposed to be here, but decided against speaking first. You must be Alice. Great, I'm Jackie. What are you doing here? Mr. Morgan asked me to come here. Here's a note from him. He said you'll understand after you read it. I handed her the note. She quickly scanned it, and as she couldn't believe what she had written carefully, and parsed the note again. I'm surprised that the paper is not going into spontaneous combustion from the intensity of her disbelieving gaze. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Oh, yes. It's okay, I guess. She stared at the ground, silent for a while. I just can't believe. What is he thinking? Dressing someone up as her? He didn't even tell us about this. Sorry to spring this upon you. I can't imagine what you feel like. Were you pretty close? This must be weird. You don't feel like her. That's because I'm not her. I'm just going to pretend for a bit. It just doesn't feel right. I never thought, how did everything come to this? Is this really going to work? We'll see. But first I have to get into costume, so to speak. Moses asked me to help you with the costume. She looked me up and down. I have the old one. I think you will fit in it. Can I make some measurements? I'm still stuck on the awkwardness of the conversation we're just having, but for her it's like one's work comes up, all previous problems were discharged and she started moving with purpose. Almost before she ever heard my response, she already rummaging through her little pouch and pulling out a tape. Messenger. Can you stand with your back to the shelf over there? I need to see how tall you are. She charged towards the corner with a large small shelf and started clearing the space to stand. I stood with my back to the shelf as she pinned one side of the messenger under the bottom half of the shelf and tried stressing it to the top of my head. With a shorter stature, she has to resort to getting on one of the stairs next to the shelf to read the results. Okay, something about around 5'8". But he was 5'6". I could have told you that. My height, I mean. Sorry, I just like to measure things myself. He pulled the tape measure back and pulled out another one from above, soft one, and took measurements of my shoulder and waist. Hold your arms straight. With the tape measurement in her hands, she scribbled numbers on her notebook. She now looks more assured and confident making commands, like she's in her own zone. Your shoulders are a little wider, but don't worry, there's a few things I can do to give you some breathing space. What's your shoe size? How can you not be sure? Aren't measurements in the States different? Ah, right, you were in Europe or something. How is this size for you? I feel like one of the Cinderella's evil stepsisters. Yeah, you're a little bit taller than us, so maybe you don't need the heels. Let me see. I think these were chips actually, but he's a short guy. Try these on. Let me know if this is too large. I can add in soles or stuff for them. Thank you. This feels so much better, but the color, does it go with the costume? Like us with everything. Wait, I think I have some of the dress fabric left. I know it looks silly, but the glue really works in a pinch, promise. And she was right, somehow with just a few touches of glue the fabric is now decorating the booth like it has always been a part of the costume. Alright, can you try this on and let me know how they fit? Okay, so I ducked behind the little board. I had to crouch to fit myself behind it, and crouching was not a good position to put on a dress. Okay. She finished changing clothes and a costume. Do you want to take a look? I could hardly recognize myself. Whoa. Looks, I know. So I'll be keeping this for the big show tonight? Oh, that reminds me, we should talk a little about the showroom arrangement. The big show starts at 7 every night and goes for 3 hours. Usually the hearing master does do a routine to introduce all the performers up front. But since your appearance is supposed to be a surprise, I think it's better for you to only do the closing act from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. You need to be in a little early so we can get over some last minute arrangements, so maybe come back here at 8 PM? It will be easier then too, because everyone will be in the big top watching the show. You don't need to worry about someone seeing you. I want to check on the Calliope at the fair, but it's not urgent. But if you have some more questions, I can stay, or if you want to be somewhere else, you can leave. Can do the move, switch, okay. In the future you will also be able to choose which location you want to go in the beginning of every turn. Those don't cost any action points. However, if you wish to move from one location to another, it will cost you 8p. come in. I can't be sure if I already talked to him. Let them make the first move. What business brings you here, Mr. He doesn't know me. That's good, but also odd. If I didn't come here to meet him, I was here. Is there someone else that I was supposed to meet? Well, I should ask you, after all. It was you that called me, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Jones, from San Francisco? Yes. I understand I'm here to investigate the disappearance of your magician. Well, not quite. You see, there were a few details I didn't mention over the phone. I was hoping to let you know in private when you get here. To be honest, I was expecting you to be here a little earlier. The situation has evolved since the call was made to you. I apologize, there was an incident. Anyway, what do you mean, not quite? Do you know where she is? I trust that no need to say this conversation must be strictly confidential. Well, no easy way to say, but Hattie is not missing, she's dead. Well, that certainly is one rather significant detail that you left out. Sorry, but I hope you understand, we don't really have another choice. The circus isn't ready to handle the consequences of that announcement. Particularly when we still don't even know what happened and who did it. But you are sure it's a murder? Yes, she was found with a knife in her chest. We arrived in the Turkey this Monday before sunrise. I took most of the time to set up, so I gave everyone the rest of the afternoon and evening off. I had some business to deal with at the bank and I need to meet with a few investors, so I made a trip into town. It was raining like hell that afternoon. The road got very muddy. By the time I came back it was almost 9 p.m. and everyone was waiting for me. And that was when they told me Hattie died. One of her performers, Echo, found Hattie in the storage room. Her pulse was already gone by then. And did they call the police? I called the police later that night. Wait, so someone died, but they waited until you were back to contact anyone? Mr. Jones, I know this may seem strange, but you have to understand, in the circus we are very guarded people. Most of us haven't had very pleasant interactions with law enforcement in our history either. Usually we try to resolve the matters within the community, but something like this has never happened in our group, and I was shocked and very concerned, so I insisted on calling them. I understand, but then why hire a private investigator if the police are on it? I called them on Monday night. They show up here the next day. They took the body, took some photos of the scene and asked everyone a few questions. I haven't heard from them since. No updates? Nothing? I called them yesterday to ask if I could have a copy of the autopsy results. They stonewalled me. Do you know why they're neglecting this case? Corruption, laziness, prejudice. I don't know, frankly, I don't much care. In my business you learn quickly that you can't buy respect from those that don't have it. What can you buy though? Is solutions. And that's where I come in. That's where you come in. I called him again to request it, but at this point I wouldn't bet on it. Actually, I think the last time everyone saw her was around 5 p.m. A few of my workers saw her coming out of a trailer. No one knew where she went after until Echo found her at 7 p.m. Yes, they can both be corroborated by others. You said it was raining that afternoon, correct? Do you remember when the rain started and stopped? I didn't think it started until I got to town, so about 4 o'clock? It had already ended when I got back. And how was the weather these past 4 days? It has not rained since. Looking for an alibi, alright? About the victim. Does she have any enemies? Enough to kill her? That's hard to imagine. I don't know what to think, detective. Look, originally I know the person that did it was here before the show even opened. Probably had a personal grudge and has access to storage areas. I feel like I know what you're going to ask. I'm afraid I'm not the best person to ask. Generally, I try to refrain from intervening too much in the interpersonal relationships. From my position, I'm afraid my meddling would sometimes do more harm than good. The performers would surely be able to tell you more about this than I ever could. However, whether they will be entirely forthcoming with you is another matter. You might want to talk to the other performers, our mechanic Alice. They are the ones that knew her the best, and there's one more person you should be aware of. I'm sure you're aware what's going in the newspaper. We cannot announce a death yet for obvious reasons, but we are on a lot of pressure. The show must go on, as they say. So I had an idea. I hired someone to pretend to be Hetty, until we get the case figured out. Well, I told her to keep a low profile, so you shouldn't see her around too much. I just thought you should be aware. I looked into it and no, she wasn't anywhere near the circus at the time, unsure of it. Well, about that, there's no actually crime scene anymore. Well, the day it happened we were busy setting up the circus. Most tents weren't even set up yet. The only one we had was a small temporary tent for storage. That's the crime scene? Yes, and we had to take it down because the circus had to open. The police did take a photo of the scene. Here's a copy. What is that board? That's an act we do. It's Hattie's signature performance, the knife throwing act. Someone would be tied to the board just like this and she'd throw knives at the board. Always hitting the board, but never the partner. The crowds love it. Well, could this have been a practice gone wrong? There's just one problem. Hattie's the one throwing the knife, not the one being tied up. Doesn't make any sense why she be on it. As far as I know, the only one who can do it is Hattie, but obviously she couldn't have done it to herself. If you have questions about the act, you should ask Aideen about it. She's a fire performer. She also always had his partner on the knife throwing performance. Please don't show it to people unless it's for a good reason. She was the friend after all, and I hope to spare as many of them from seeing that as I can. If you have other questions about the photo, you can come back and ask me. The circus is leaving tonight? Yes, we're scheduled to stay here for a week. Hattie was found dead on Monday, and I caught you on Wednesday. This is the last day we have here. But don't you still have a show tonight? You haven't seen a circus perform before, have you? You walk into the tent at 7 and by the time you walk out, everything but the big top will be gone, disappear. I've seen people compare it to magic before. It's already 11, so I have 12 hours to solve a murder case? Sorry, but I can't really delay anything. The circus future performances are all scheduled. Well, I should say sorry for my tardiness. When I called your office, you already informed me it's going to take a few days. It's unfortunately, but you can only walk with the circumstances we have. The big show starts at 7 and ends at 10. The train will be leaving in sections, with the last one departing less than 2 hours after the show ends. So you are telling me any witness or evidence I could possibly have will all be gone before midnight? That's right. It's like Cinderella, but instead of a princess, I'm chasing a murderer. Well, when you put it that way? Of course. And if they ever manage to send over the autopsy results, I'll let you know as soon as possible. I'll give everyone a heads up about you being here, and you can talk to anyone working here. But it is a show day, so they might still have responsibilities that keep them busy at times. Sorry about that. Well, this is a circus, and there are certain trade sectors we have to protect. It means that there are certain areas only available to members of the circus, and I prefer if it stayed that way. Just the stable and backstage are off limits, and do not go barging into people's private rooms on the train without permission. They tend to be very territorial. Look, Mr. Jones, I'm going to be completely honest for you with a second. Eddie is dead, and there's nothing I can do to change that, including catching who did it. Tension is high in the circus, and the best thing I can do is to keep things running as usual and maintain a sense of normalcy for my folks. I've been through enough goodbyes to know that the last thing you want at a time like this is everything else changing too. But yes, of course I care about solving the case. I wouldn't have called you here otherwise, but I do care about it more than keeping this circus running and keeping everyone from falling apart. No. The fortune teller's tent looks intriguing. I wonder if it'd be open. Or I could go to the fair area. There must be people around. Or go to the big top, check out what performances are going on there. That is echo. The performance has ended, but even as we're speaking, Echo's own lips never moved. I'm not sure if I should look at him or the puppet. So that was end of the demo. So it introduces you to the main characters of the game. That you switch between the detective Mr. Jones and the magician Jackie. Thank you all for watching. Wish you all well. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. See you in the next video.